welcome back. This is By the Book, and we're your married relationship coaches. I'm Sent.
I'm Sil.
And today we're talking about Ready to Love, Season 6. This is the reunion, the second part of it. We're talking about Sampson, but this is more of a sidebar.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who join us every week, you already know what it is. We take a small portion of an episode or show or couple or person, and we blow that portion up into its own little video because it's something that we're having a side conversation about here at home. So what we saw in Sampson was somebody who the ladies had challenges with treating all the same.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but what Shareese was asking for him was for him to tell her, give her the words of assurance that she was number one.
Mm-hmm.
And Sampson is one of those people, I think, he's full of it. And he's like, his retort to someone asking, like, is it this, is it that, is for him to say, whoa, I wouldn't do X, Y, and Z if it wasn't this.
Mm-hmm.
Or why would I talk to you so late at night if it wasn't whatever that thing is that you're asking for?
Yeah.
So, if I wasn't committed to you, then why would I do so much to show you this?
Yes.
And that's a non-answer. That's like a roundabout way of just not answering the person's question.
Yes.
Because it would be so simple. You said all those words, but it would be just so simple for you to respond to that. Like, no, I am only interested in you.
Yes.
Why is that so hard? So the big question that I'm asking my husband is, are actions do they always speak louder than words? Because I feel like that's his position. It's like my actions are showing. And to be fair, not only that, but just personally, I'm an actions-driven person.
Yes.
Like I'm a lot less on the wordy side and I'm a lot more on the action side.
Yeah.
But is that always the case? Are sometimes words louder than actions?
Yes, sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. It depends on the person. And so whoever you're in a relationship with, you have to be able to communicate in the language that they receive it. And so if Shareese, for example, if she's more of a words of affirmation person, but you want to give her information and show her love with acts of service, then you're going to have to speak in her language to give it to her. And so in whatever way that whoever you're with or you're experiencing a relationship with, you got to understand how they receive their love, how they receive information. And so for him, when she told him, hey, I need to hear you say I'm your only one, I'm your number one or whatever, then it's not time for you to come back and say, I'm showing you, because obviously you weren't showing her enough to where she received it, or you weren't showing her or doing it in a way for her to receive it. So if a person is words of affirmation, buddy, start talking. And he didn't.
So for you, this is a love language miscommunication type of a thing.
Somewhat. I also think that he didn't want to communicate that because he felt like he was putting himself in a box where they were playing. I call it playing a game. They're playing a game with their connections. It's the ready to love world, and so he doesn't want to close himself off from the other ladies and then possibly get eliminated.
Yeah.
And so he wants to continue to kind of like filter it and play the field, so to speak. But the game, he wants to play the game instead of just, saying, hey, I'm all into you, Shareese. He didn't want to do that.
I think he has, Sampson in particular, but a lot of men are Samsons.
Yeah.
He has a lot of ego and he's non-committal.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to, like you said, kind of box himself in to that one person. I don't even think he liked her that much.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that in relationships in general, and very, very specifically relationships, being an actions only person is tough, especially when it comes from a man to a woman. Because what ends up happening a lot of times in relationships is that guys who are non-committal will do these actions, and they'll do a Sampson and be like, well, I'm giving you all this time, you're the last person I talk to before I go to bed, blah, blah, blah. And like you've said before, they leave the women to fill in the gaps. And we do a masterful job of filling in the gaps wrong. We start talking to ourselves in Sampson speak. We start saying, well, if he didn't really like me, he wouldn't do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You know, he wouldn't talk to me last thing at night and text me good morning, beautiful, every morning if he wasn't really interested in me. You know, or he wouldn't have taken me. He took me on a really expensive date, and maybe he wouldn't have done that. He can't have money to spend on like everybody like that. You know, I mean, we start creating a narrative in our own head as women if we're not strong enough to pin him down and say, no. You have to tell me what this is. I know you may not like labels, you may not like boxes, but for my own peace of mind and sanity, either you have to give me that or you have to walk away from the situation. But it's scary for women because we don't want to necessarily push the man away. We have to come to that realization that if he walks away, that's okay.
Yes.
If he walks away, that's like doing you a service.
Yes. It's okay because again, the primary need of a woman is to feel safe. Wants to feel secure within the relationship. And if you need the words and the affirmations, or if you need the acts of service, whatever you need, if that man cares enough about you, he's going to give that to you.
Yeah.
He's going to communicate it. Just look at Mike and Brandy. He was in the same game. I'll use the word game, the Ready to Love world. And so he was in the same game, but he had no problems with letting Brandy know, you are my number one. The rest of this, I'm just playing the game. Yeah. And so at the end of this whole thing, it's going to be you and me standing across from one another. And he made that plain to her. And so Shareese was just basically asking Sampson for the same thing.
Right. And just like you compared Sampson's behavior to Mike's behavior, now I'm going to compare Shareese's behavior to, say, Jamala and or Kayla's behavior. And I can appreciate Shareese because she didn't stand by for that foolishness. And maybe that's because she's got some years on these ladies. You know, she's been through that game too many times. She's not going to do it again. But when Sampson did refuse to give her what it was that she wanted, what it was that she needed, she was okay with standing up and being like, that's not enough for me, essentially, and eliminated him from the show. She didn't have to, apparently. That's the way they set it up for her, where she could have kept him on and been like, oh, okay, well, you're right. You are doing X, Y, and Z, and I should pay attention to that. No. You're not making me feel like I'm number one. That's not good enough. Get off the show. I like that. I wish that Jamala, I wish that Kayla had that and that I saw that in them in this reunion show. But they didn't have it. They didn't have it much. Maybe Jamala tried to show it at the end. But I'm not even convinced that she won't be right back with rah-rah.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised as well. And so, but you're quite right. Women I have to put some of this on the women. You know what I mean? A
lot of it.
You know, and so I hope y'all not taking it the wrong way, but women, you can control this whole thing, to be honest with you. And so a man can only do what you allow him to do. And you're right. Sampson, he was up to no good. And so Shareese, and I'm not even a Shareese fan. You know, y'all can watch some of the other videos that we have. You know I'm not a Shareese fan. No. You know, she steps on toes habitually. She's a habitual toe stepper, okay? And so with that being said, I think she definitely did the right thing, you know, with Sampson. My question to you, Sampson and his supposed new girlfriend, you think he was telling the truth with that, or he just wanted to come out of the side?
I think he probably was, and I think he was probably dating while he was still on the show. He's just like that type of guy.
All right.
In my opinion.
Player. Okay. All right.
So anyway, guys, let us know what you all think about that. Let us know what you think about Sampson and his behavior, his non-committal self, and whether words are necessary in relationships or our actions really going to be enough. So like, share, subscribe, drop those comments below, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Bye.